Hi, everybody. Obviously, Miami FC has now lost 5 matches in a row in all competitions, and that's not something that anyone takes lightly and is not acceptable, right? But a few things I wanted to talk about today and stay somewhat positive. Obviously, there are some serious critiques to be made of the play and this current 5 match losing streak. But first off, American soccer is very different than world football at the club level. It's very forgiving. All these teams make the playoffs, right? There's no relegation involved. So it gives you the opportunity. Now, I'm an advocate for open systems and open soccer, as I think everybody watching this knows. But I think one of the things it does give you an opportunity to do is work your way through a season where you've got a lot of young players who are showing an incredible amount of potential. In league play, Miami FC has only lost a single game by multiple goals, which was the Tampa Bay game, where 4 of the goals that Miami FC conceded were due to individual errors, right? So in reality, that was just an outlier. Every other match has been decided by a single goal, and what we're seeing is individual errors or unfortunate things that happen, and often happen because young players aren't as seasoned and they make bad decisions. So you enter into this team some veterans. Barbier is a class above the level of player, at least in terms of pedigree and history that Miami FC has on this roster currently. I mean, I think him and Booth would be the two guys with significant USL Championship experience at a very very high level, playing at a very high level. You do have other guys like Molina now, who's come in, Mitrano, who has played better of late. Jordan also, Mitrano and Jordan both played together last year in Las Vegas, and are competing for that same left back spot here in Miami this year. I think that's good. You're getting some veteran influence there. Cabral, obviously a player who has significant USL League One experience. Same thing with Gavalinas. But we're seeing individual mistakes in games, and we're seeing maybe lack of poise, some naivety at times in matches. But the overall product, what we're seeing, I think, has been getting better in each match, with the exception of that Tampa Bay game, which again is an outlier. And I think it's an outlier for Tampa Bay also. Quite honestly, I don't want to talk about the Rowdies too much in this video. Maybe we'll do something later in the week on where they stand. But the Rowdies are getting results, but I think the Miami game stands as an outlier. It's the only match that they really controlled almost from start to finish all season. So here's where I am on this team. I think we're seeing the additions of Barbier and Molina give Coach Antonio Nocerino more tactical options. And I think the team has looked very good in the three at the back when they've played it recently. Now, there are individual errors and we could go through each of those individual errors and litigate them and say, well, the keeper shouldn't be charging off his line in this situation. We've seen both starting keepers now make those mistakes and concede goals that way. We can talk about sloppy play out of the back, but I think the three at the back has helped. And let me explain. Not only are you getting attacking overloads with Mitrano or Jordan on the left, and whoever is playing on the right, whether it's Cardona or it's a makeshift right wing back, getting forward. But I think it's also settling the other players on our back line. Barbier, a cut above, and he's left-footed, and he has a killer left foot. So playing him at left center back makes sense. You've got Beak, who has been shaky at times this season, but I thought had maybe his best 45 minutes of the season in the first half against Birmingham. Now, unfortunately, it had picked up a knock and had to go off. And then you have Dalton Knutson, who is an outstanding player, was a great player at Tormenta in USL League One. I think Knutson is a player that to me, has already looked more comfortable when you put him at right center back. You put him on the right side of a three-man back line, or even if he's in a four-man back line, he's playing right center back and not left center back. So his body positioning is better. The way he turns, he's more comfortable on the ball in those situations to start attacking moves playing out of the back. So I think this formation makes a lot of sense. Now, there are times I think Miami FC is going to have to play four at the back. But now you have the option of doing this. And I think that's very good. I think going forward, you have a situation where in Bota and in Genzano, you not only have two outstanding young Italian players, you also have two guys that now have shown that they're very versatile and can play in multiple positions. So as time goes on, I think this thing is going to be figured out. And I feel very optimistic about some of the things we've seen in the last two matches. No question the Tampa Bay match was a setback. No question getting eliminated by Tormenta in the Open Cup was difficult. But Miami FC is a man down for that second half, and Tormenta, in my opinion, is one of the better teams in USL League One. I think that they are a team that, well, they're not going to go any further in the US Open Cup because they drew Charleston. But if they'd drawn someone else, I think they could have continued to advance. And then when you talk about the Birmingham loss, it was a toss of a coin, right? It was just one individual error. Maybe Frank Lopez is an inch offside, similar to what we saw Coventry City and Manchester United today in the FA Cup semifinal. Coventry attacker was Haji Wright, I believe, right? Former New York Cosmos player in both NASL and NPSL. An inch offside, right? So very, very close a call. But actually on that goal that was disallowed, I want to point out Barbier's left foot, because this is something I've told people privately since Miami FC traded for him, that he has, he's not just a standout defender, he's not just a veteran, he's not just technically very good. He has a killer left foot where he can play balls like that. I saw that at Oakland time and again the last few seasons. So I'm more upbeat maybe than I should be, given that we sit bottom of the table in the Eastern Conference. But I see some real silver linings in these performances. Now, ultimately, these performances have to turn around. They have to become draws and victories. Pittsburgh, a team with an outstanding coach in Bob Lilly, have gone through the same thing. Beginning of this season. Bumpy road, young team, not getting the results. They finally go to Phoenix last night and get a result. They get 3 points. And I think that sort of turnaround for Miami FC might be around the corner once everybody gets settled. Oh, and one last point, Luisinho, spectacular coming off the bench. Maybe not a 90-minute player, but a guy you see when you insert him in the second half of matches, and you see when you even start him against Tormenta, the sort of impact he brings. So much talent on the squad, and I'm looking forward to what we see in the next few weeks. San Antonio Saturday, have to go to Pittsburgh, aforementioned Pittsburgh Riverhounds after that, and then I believe it's Indy 11 at home after that. So those are the next three matches.